Net neutrality is the idea that all content should be provided to consumers without any restrictions. Net neutrality was repealed because many telecommunication companies such as Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, etc. wanted to have more freedom and less regulation over the internet. Basically, they wanted to go back to the period in the internet history when cell phone providers and internet service providers could be selective with content access, and also at the same time throw random fees at consumers. Ultimately, though, it was because former Verizon worker and now FCC Chairman Ajit Pai supported the repeal of the regulation and said that Title II net neutrality's days were numbered. He also supported his argument by saying that companies routinely block or discriminate against content they don't like. I agree with Ajit Pai's statement, as it is true seeing how people who say immoral and discriminatory speech are basically removed from a particular website or service for good and bad reasons unwarranted, and also because people are typically removed on various websites for partisan politics and other debates. Experts predicted that internet service providers, ISPs, could limit access to certain content in addition to already throttling speeds on a particular payment plan. Basically, since internet service providers' regulation of content through filters can cause a typical consumer to worry about paying for access to internet, it can also they can also control what you can see, and on top of that, how much data you can use and how much. And yeah. Furthermore, in the constant competition between internet service providers, they can also limit how many advertisements you see from consumers. For example, when watching TV or browsing on the internet, as a Spectrum customer, for example, you will only see Spectrum ads and no other telecommunication company ads on most pages you visit. Similarly, though, companies are also affected since they will also have to pay more money in order to deliver their content quickly and seamlessly to consumers. As far as consequences go in our country, the United States, we have had Sprint and T-Mobile on the verge of being completely merged. This merger, although good at first, would ultimately it would give us more 5G connections over current 4G connections. At the same time, though, experts on the verge say that it will result in higher costs, restrictive connections based on data and content, and also, as usual, even more terrible customer service. Big companies are known to have horrible customer service. Next, a study in September 2018 using the WeHe app and conducted by the Northeastern University and the University of Massachusetts at Amherst have revealed that cell phone carriers are limiting speeds for video streaming apps such as YouTube, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and Hulu, and also limiting the quality at times. Sadly, also in 2018, during the California wildfires, Verizon Wireless additionally throttled speeds for the Santa Clara Fire Department, which hampered communications during those wildfires and impeded rescue efforts. To be blunt, I believe Verizon's apology, this was a customer support mistake, we are reviewing the situation and will fix any issues going forward, was insincere since business comes before literally the fate of people during an emergency. At least that's what I've heard from that. The state of California has since 2018 taken measures to reinstate the recently repealed net neutrality rules. I have not been affected by the repeal of these regulations thus far. And as far as the future is concerned, I believe net neutrality will be restored in the future only if consumers of the government see that internet service providers as well as cell phone providers are taking advantage of the average consumer. Basically, net neutrality doesn't stand a chance of being restored since these days you don't know who's really in charge of making laws and regulations in our country. The repeal was made by one department of the government, and there's too much bickering and debate with little to show for it. Also, it's technically reverse psychology or a mind trick because when you think about it, Netflix started offering, for example, different plans around the launch of 4K and UHD. People often bought the highest package whenever a change occurred to keep everything normal. Normal for Netflix in 2010, for example, was an HD standard plan set at $8. With this plan, you was able to watch content simultaneously on two devices. Flash forward to 2014, and to get that same stuff, you have to now pay $9. And the $8 you paid before in 2014 is only going to give you one screen at a time, with no HD this time. I fear that we're going to live in a tiered lifestyle to access certain content on the internet, along with the many tiered plans we already pay now. And net neutrality was repealed in 2017. And